Okay. Welcome, everybody. I'm so excited for tonight. Miss Kelly Norman is our guest. Kelly is from southern Oklahoma. She's a mama of two boys, and she's been married to Buddy for 22 years. And Kelly has been with Plexus for 5 years and is a Diamond Ambassador. She is also on the Plexus Jewel coaching and training team. So when you guys hit Emerald, you'll take those courses, and they're awesome. She is certified John Maxwell speaker, trainer, and coach. And she travels the U.S. with a workshop called Living to Leave a Legacy, and is a brand new published author of Living to Leave a Legacy. So welcome, Kelly. And I am just going to give you the floor.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you for having me on. I'm so excited to be here with you guys tonight. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my book and some workshops that I'm doing. But before we go into that, I just want to give you something. And so when I'm thinking about what I can leave with you, this is what comes to my mind is I want to talk to you about your purpose. And then I want to talk to you about vision and goals for 2018. So before we get into all that, though, I want to throw something out here to you. We create what we want in our lives. Think about that for just a second. We create what we want in our lives. When I say that, I just feel a sense of peace run over me. And I think the word that gives me peace is create. Because I believe that God created us. And, He is the mighty creator. And it says that we're created in His image. So if God created us in His image, then He created us to be creators upon this earth. We all know that our words change things and they're powerful. And you and I believe, are meant to create. And I think I like that word so much is because we get so tired. I don't know about you, but I think about striving and hustling and trying to obtain more, and it just gets so tiring. But when I change my mindset to creating and manifesting instead of hustling and striving, it just feels more it feels like that's the way I was created. Okay, so let me throw something else out here to you. Everything that you need is within you. What do you think about that? So many times we think, oh, I've got to obtain this, I've got to get that, or and it just comes into so much striving. And I believe that there is gold inside of you. I believe that you have a purpose and you have a destiny, and that was placed in your life before you took a breath. And so our job is to figuring out what our destiny, what our purpose, and what our call is. And so if we were born with this destiny, if we were born with this purpose, then I believe the seed of to accomplish it is already inside of us. It just has to be awakened. It just has to be nurtured. So as you're holding on to all of that, let's switch just for a second. Do you remember when you learned to ride a bicycle? Okay, I do. The reason I remember it so vividly is because I was horrible at it. No, I'm serious. I was so bad. And so I would fall and fall and fall. So we had this hill at our house when I was a kid. So I'd get my bicycle and I would push it up to the top of the hill and I would get on it and then I would go down because it had momentum, right? And at the bottom, the same thing happened every time. I fell. And then I would get back up. I would get my bicycle. My mom recalls watching me, and she said she was standing at our front door, and it was a glass door, and she was standing looking out, and she was astonished that I continued to get up and go up the hill and go down and fall, that I did not give up. Now, when all of this was happening, I don't remember thinking or saying, oh, I'm so stupid. I can't ride a bike. I don't remember saying those things. Now, I may have said that stupid bike. But as small children, it's just not within us to give up and to think that we're losers at a really young age. Okay, This will bring it home. There was a group of 100 kindergartners, and a man walks into this kindergarten class, and he asks them a question. And he says, who can dance? And did you know 100 kindergartners stood up? He said, okay, sit down. He said, who can sing? And 100 kindergartners stood up. Then that man went and asked 100 adults. He said, who can dance? And about 15 adults stood up. And then he said, who can sing? And about 14, 15 adults stood up. And so then he realizes something has happened since we were kindergartners to adulthood. So I want to ask you, who told you that you couldn't dance? And who told you that you couldn't sing? It's in that gap right there that we need to take a look at and to see what happens, because I think that children and even animals create easier than you and I do. Think about it. Watch a bird create a nest. Watch a spider weave its web. Give a child a box of crayons and automatically he or she is an artist and creates a masterpiece. It is just so automatic. I've never seen a bird say, you know what, I'm a loser at making a bird nest. My bird nest isn't as great as his bird nest. I'm just not going to make bird nests. No, because animals don't have that ego, that sense of value. Even children don't have that. It's just automatically creating. But see, we got programmed. We got some junk up here that wasn't the truth. And so therefore, we quit creating. We quit manifesting. We can't quit operating out of what we were called to do. Now, I think the secret is this. I think the secret is if you and I can learn how to separate our results from our self-value. If we can separate how we perceive, how we value ourselves from the results we get, then I think we're going to get closer to it. Okay, so here's an example. Let's say I sign up 5 people today with Plexus, and they all go Fast Start Gold. And then when I get ready for bed at night and I walk past the mirror and I see myself, I might stop and think, I'm kind of all that, huh? I mean, I signed 5 people up and they all went Fast Start Gold. I'm pretty awesome. Well, what if instead of signing up 5 people, I contact 20 people, they all tell me no, 5 of my rock stars move to another company, and all of my customers drop out all in one day. And when I go to bed that night and I walk past that mirror, I'm going to be tempted to look in the mirror and to think that I'm just not enough. My goal, my friends, my goal, my life's mission is to, no matter what my results are, that when I look in the mirror, that Kelly Norman, that I know who I am. For me, I'm just a child of God. I am chosen, I am valuable, and I walk in humility. That is who I want to be, no matter what my results are. Mother Teresa, she speaks to my soul. When I read her stuff, I just love it. And one of her, I posted it on my timeline today, one of her quotes that ministers to me, and I'll just paraphrase it for you real quick, is that don't let praise or criticism move you, but walk humbly. If you are humble, then somebody telling you you're all that, or somebody criticizing you and tell you how sorry you are, neither one of those can move you if you walk in humility. That, my friends, is separating our results from our self-value. And I'm teaching you here how to get back to creating, to get back to functioning the way we were supposed to and not listening to all the junk. I think if we can do this, then you and I would be more confident. We'd be have feelings that are more freer, that we would be happier people if we can do that. So let's jump in. I'm going to talk to you about your purpose. All right. So if I were to come to you and I would say, all right, April, what is your purpose? Each one of you, I'd go down the line and I would say, what is your purpose? I know this. Many of your hearts would start to beat fast. Your hands would get a little bit sweaty because many of you would say, I don't know. You're putting me on the spot. I've just been trying to figure this out. And I just want to tell you it's okay. You don't have to spit off what your purpose is. But what you do have to do, you do have to promise me that you will start moving towards it. You'll start asking great questions. You'll start thinking about it. And I'm going to help you with that. For those of you out here that just say, you know what, I just don't know what my purpose is, then here we go. All right. If you and I were going to have dinner and we went to this restaurant, that would be fun. And we get to visit all night long. And what we visited about would be the topics that you chose. What topics would you want to talk to me about that meant so much to you? What things that when you talk about it, when you think about it, I mean, a fire just starts to go inside, that you have passion on the inside of you. You get excited. Think about that. Now, these are some things I want you to take this week and spend some time with. Okay, so what is it that you do that you feel complete? You feel full. You think, this is what I was created to do. What are your talents? What are your giftings? Okay, what would, if I called you on the phone and I said, okay, I need you to, and then you fill in the blank, and I would say, right now, I need you to do this for me right now. What is it that you would say, Kelly, it's okay, I got it, no big deal. And you just know that you were meant to do this, and you just could help me out and do it like that. John Maxwell calls that your God-given gift. He says when you operate out of your God-given gift, it's like just like dusting it off a little bit and rolling with it and doing a rock star job. But a man-made gift is very hard. So I'm asking you what's your God-given gifts. So I'm just going to give you my examples. I know that if you called me about 15 minutes before you had a team call and you said, my speaker is sick, my team needs a word of encouragement, I need some teaching, can you jump on and help? I know that I could like, yeah, don't worry about it, it's no big deal. And I could put something together that I know would be good because that is my calling. I know that I could speak to thousands and hundreds of people, and it would that speaking, teaching, training, helping you find your purpose, helping you get a healthy mindset, those are things that I know that I was called to do. Now, but if you called me and you said, Kelly, can you sing to my team this evening? And, you know, we want them all to stay, right? So that's not going to happen. Or if you said, Kelly, can you make us an apple pie really quick? I'd be like, let's get a few YouTube videos going and we'll figure this deal out. Just hold on a second. I mean, there are things that I couldn't draw you a portrait. I mean, it would be like a stick man. That's about as far as I can go. There's some things I just cannot do, but there are some things that I can do. And I know those things that I'm good at. And so I'm asking you, what are you good at? What do people compliment you on? What are your strengths? You need to spend some time on this. What people groups does your heart just lean towards? Is it children? Is it the elderly? Is it women? Is it maybe women that have had abortions? Maybe it's for orphans. I don't know. Maybe it's business women. What is it that your heart just leans towards? Spend some time, answer these questions. Now, I could talk on this topic for hours and hours and hours, but we don't have that. So you're getting just the skim part of it to make your brain start turning. You're going to have enough to run with it, though. All right. After purpose, we're going to go into vision. Now, remember, we're talking about purpose, vision, and goals. Out of these three, if I was going to pick one and I was going to say, guys, you need to spend most of your time on this topic, it would be vision. But it's what our culture and our society spend the least amount of time on. You need to be visualizing. Okay, let me explain to you why. The reason why is vision puts feet to your purpose. Vision fuels the ship. Vision brings clarity. So this is what it looked like in my life. I love examples, so I'm going to give you examples. I just shared with you that I knew my purpose was to help you find your purpose. I knew that my purpose was to help you have a healthy mindset, was to speak, was to author a book. I knew that that was my purpose. But I had to spend some time visualizing, what does that look like? You know, it's not enough just for me to find my purpose. It's a start, and we've got to start there. But then we've got to move to vision. I've got to see it. I've got to put feet to it. So when I visualized it, it looks like, okay, I need to get groups of people together. I need to get people together so I can speak to them. And so I started thinking about having my workshops that I have. I need to spend time with people more than one session. So I came up with a mentorship program. I knew that I needed to author a book. So I started figuring out about writing a book. So those are so I could see the book. I could see the workshop. I could see the mentorship program. Okay. So that's visualizing right here. Vision brings clarity. So we talked about purpose. We talked about vision. We have to see, you have to see it before you can walk in it. Okay. So what does that look like? Let's see here. Here's mine. All of you should have a planner. All of you should have a calendar. So, because, we got to write things down. I mean, my life is so busy with my kids and my business and all the different things that go on. I have to write things down. But in my planner, when I visualize, I sit down, it's in this office. And so this is what my visualization looks like, is that I sit down and it looks a little bit different every day, but I'll turn on some worship music. I will probably read in my devotion or the Bible. I will pray and I will get quiet. And I have learned to reflect. I have learned to quiet my mind, and I've learned to, somebody told me one time, if you're going to dream, dream with God. Because if God created you, then he put a purpose inside of you. So I just allow my imagination to go with God and think about what I was created for, what my vision is. And it's so much inspiration from that I have to write things down. So during this past couple of years, when I was discovering my purpose and what it looks like, I started seeing those things and I started writing them down, like on the date that I saw it. And I have notes here that I write in. Get used to journaling. Even if it's just, I'm like a one-word girl. I love to like bullet point stuff, and I'll just write an inspiration of a word that I got. So I'll write things down, because here's the deal. When you get up from that time of reflecting, and you go into the day, because we all got stuff. Do you hear me? We all have stuff that we have to walk through every day. When I'm in the middle of my stuff, I don't have the emotion that I felt that morning when I was visualizing. And I have to have something to hold on to. I have to go back to that place. Okay, this is what I'm seeing. You understand what I'm saying? Is that writing things down is so important. It like anchors you. It brings you back. All right, let's move on to the third one in goals. Now, can you see that if somebody has purpose, they discover their purpose, and then they visualize, how to walk it out. If they stop there, that their dream, that all of this can be buried with them and never manifest, and they would never walk in it, because you've got to set goals. And I'm going to explain that to you. Okay, so my purpose, let's say I shared with you, was to help you find your purpose, to empower people, to help them have a better mindset, to help people to love themselves. And then I saw it happening in workshop, in a book, in a mentorship program. If I didn't set goals, guys, I would have never walked it out. It looks like this. I knew I had to get my John Maxwell certification if I was going to do this. I had to be validated for some reason, because when you heard that I had a John Maxwell certification, that I was a John Maxwell speaker, trainer, and coach, you did this. You were like, oh, well, what does she have to say? Your ear kind of leaned in towards me, so I knew I had to get validated. And so I went and I spent an hour a day doing my certification. Then I spent an hour a day writing my workshop and on my book. And then I spent an hour a day working my Plexus business. Do you see that if I had to break it down what it looked like, because if I was not intentional with setting daily small goals, then I would have never got to the big goals that I had seen inside of my mind. This is what I see with people. When I talk to people and we break down, okay, I go into high schools. I go into last year I went to a freshman class, and this is what we did. I told them, write down your goals, write down your dreams, what you want to do. So all these kids are writing down their dreams and what they want to do. And then I had them set that piece of paper aside, and then I had them write down what they do when they get up in the morning. From when their eyes pop open, when their alarm clock goes off, boom, every single minute. Like they got up, they ate breakfast, and all the way down throughout their day. So we pulled that sheet of paper with their goals on it. And for instance, some of them said they wanted to go to college and play balls. They even want to be professional athletes. Well, when I looked at what they were doing throughout the day, and they were only working out when it was athletics at school, then we saw, well, that's probably not going to get you to your goals. Because if you want to go above and beyond, you're going to, and to play in college or play in high school, then you're going to have to do something outside of school. So that's great for us because we can say, okay, what's happening in my day? Am I doing things that move me closer to my dreams, to my goals? And so I encourage you to set small goals. And this is the reason why. When you set small goals, you achieve them and you get confidence. And then you're ready to go on to the next thing. But if you don't set small goals and you keep these big ones and you never reach them, you get so discouraged. John Maxwell talks about if you have a tree in your backyard and you have a very sharp axe, if you walk outside and you take 5 swings at that tree, and then you come back in the house, and the next day you take your axe and you take 5 swings at that tree, and then you come back in the house, and you keep doing it, what's going to happen? The tree is going to come down. The same thing with your business. The same thing reaching your dreams and walking out your purpose and actually accomplishing it is that do 5 things every day that moves you closer. Do 5 things, and when you put your head on your pillow at night, if you're wanting to grow your business in Plexus, contact at least 5 people a day. Follow up with 3 people, and then reach out to a customer or an ambassador. If you do that every single day, I promise you your business will grow. Now, at the end of the day, if you contacted 5 people, if you followed up with 3, you reached out, and everybody told you no or you couldn't get a hold of anybody, when you put your head on your pillow at night, you have done what you're supposed to do. It doesn't matter the results. That you are accomplishing what you need to move forward, because tomorrow when you do that and the next day when you do that, Amy and I both, we've had tons of people tell us no. It's not all the yeses. It's because we showed back up. And that's how this business is. So discover your purpose. Visualize it. Spend some time, guys. Get in the habit the rest of your life. Do you know why visualizing and vision is not a one-time thing? Is because life doesn't turn out like we think it's going to. I don't know about you, but I sure thought things would look different so many different times in my life. And I had to learn the art of realigning. I had to learn the art of continuing to visualize, because we were going to curve off to the left when I thought we were curving to the right. And so I had to have a fresh vision. Your purpose may stay the same, but the vision may change. And so you have to be continually visualizing. If you are not spending quiet time reflecting, then I guarantee you're stressed. I guarantee you that you don't have clear direction. All right, so here we are, and we're talking about those goals. Now, it's at this point that there's a big warning I want to give you. It's at this time that there's this voice that you have and that I have, and I like to call it the voice of reason. And the voice of reason starts to say things like, well, how's that going to happen? What's that going to look like? How are you going to do that? Well, you've tried that before. Remember when it didn't work out? What makes you think it's going to happen this time? So for me, it looked like when I was picturing myself writing a book, and it was like that voice says, well, who are you to write a book? You know nothing about writing a book. Well, what makes you think you're going to have a workshop? People don't even know who you are. You live in a town of 700. Nobody's going to pay money to come listen to what you have to say. I promise you guys that voice was coming up. This is when your affirmations pay off. This is when those affirmations are so important. And if you are not speaking affirmations over your life, I guarantee you your mind is like a runaway train. It's like I call it a runaway horse. It's like a battlefield with bombs going off. You have got to get control of your thoughts. And the way we do this is with affirmations. And this is what I feel like I specialize in, is helping you make affirmations for your life. Now, speaking positive is a great thing, but I don't want a cookie cutter affirmation. I want something where I'm going through in my life. And I write about this in my book. My book is not a very large book. It is a very, very easy read. I believe there'll be so many people that read my book that will say this is the first book that I've ever finished. And in this book, it leads you through how to make affirmations for your life, where you are, so that you can get past some things, get a healthy mindset, and get going on your purpose and visualizing and making those goals. What's holding you back so many times are the voices in your head telling you that you can't, that you're not enough, or that you've tried that before and failed. whatever. It's all different. It's all the same voice, and it has the same determination to quit and to steal our dreams. So you have got to renew your mind, get a healthy mindset, and that is what my book is all about. It's called Living to Leave a Legacy. I am so passionate about the word legacy. Last year I was praying about my workshop, and what I was going to do is actually probably, more like a year and a half ago. And God gave me a word, and that word was legacy. And I think I'm so passionate about it is because you guys haven't been to my workshop, and hopefully, where are y'all mainly, Amy?
I think we're pretty much all over. A lot of us are in Washington State. I got Kentucky. We got Georgia. So we're a little bit all over. Oregon. Okay.
So I will be in Fresno, California in March, and I will be in Houston, Texas, and I am hustling up and trying to get lots more places on the map. So if I have a workshop near you, I encourage you to come. And at my workshop, it'll be the only time that you hear my life story in detail. And I talk about this. And I went through a lot of hard things in my life that you probably would shock you. But throughout it all, my grandmother, who's with the Lord now, and my mother, who I still have, left me a legacy. And that legacy looks like this. They left me a legacy of kindness, of love, of grace, of forgiveness, of courage, of strength. I come from a line of strong women. And that's the legacy they gave me, that by the grace of God, that I was able to be a successful woman, and a woman that can look herself in the mirror and love herself today. But I went through you'll see some of the things in my book that I talk about. But life wasn't always easy, and I had a lot of issues with those tormenting voices, that those voice of reason I'm talking to you right now, even from past choices that I made. Sometimes those voices will come back, and they'll be talking to you about your failures and your choices that you made, or even horrible things that other people did to you. So we can have a sound mind. Some of you out there do not have a sound mind. How do I know that? Because I know I'm human. I think if you put your finger underneath your nose, and if you feel breath, then you need this book. I guarantee you that you're struggling with it. So get the book. It's going to teach you how to make your affirmations. It's going to talk about the number 63, how crucial that is to do this for 63 days. It takes 21 days to break a habit. It takes 2 more cycles of 21 to form a new habit. That's 63 days. So I encourage you, get the book. It'd be awesome maybe if you guys could come together and do an accountability on it. I'm going to work on I'm going to work on some questions so that you leaders can do maybe a book study. It would help you through this, but I think accountability is huge. And then, of course, if I'm in your area, please make sure you get a ticket. Come to the workshop. You will not regret it. I promise you. My website is kellyjnorman.com, and it talks about my upcoming workshops. I have a mentorship program that's on there. You can just keep in touch with what's going on. You can see what I've done. And there's a testimony page there. I encourage you to go to the testimony page, and it talks about what people experience from going to the workshop. So I hope something I said today resonated within you, and you were like, yes. It kind of switched on your brain a little bit. Maybe you need to spend some time thinking about your purpose. Maybe you need to spend some time visualizing. You need to set those short-term goals. Maybe you're the person that had the big goals, and then it was so big that you got paralyzed that you do nothing. All right. Thank you for bringing me on tonight, and I just bless all of you.
Oh, thank you so much, Kelly. Yes, if you haven't ordered Kelly's book, I'm almost done with it, and it's phenomenal. It's so great. I'm so proud of you, Kelly.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for jumping on and doing this for us, and we'll see you. It's so funny, too, that legacy, that word came to you, and what's our convention?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Isn't that amazing? God works in
that's God brings confirmation to me in crazy ways. I want to share something, is that when I very first started Plexus, I started signing a few people up, and I felt this big responsibility that I would have to train them, right? I knew really nothing. I got me a book, started reading it. I started a Facebook page, but before I named that page, I felt like God spoke to me and told me to pray about what I named it. So I took a step back and I spent some time and I was praying. It's like, what do I name this page? And the Lord said, I want you to name it Freedom, because I'm going to bring freedom to many people through your hands with Plexus. So I named my group Freedom with Plexus. That year, convention was named Freedom.
Crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right. Well, thank you so much. And we'll see you in Orlando.
All right, guys.
Take care.
Have a good evening.
You too.